That's a ridiculous sized water bottle, isn't it? Hello, everybody. Welcome along to your pre-match build-up here in the Rangers Rabble podcast. I'm expecting this to be the busiest pre-match build-up that we have ever done because I know that everybody is super, super excited for the game tonight.
Big game tonight. Big game.
Buzzing, Ash. Absolutely buzzing.
Well, we just said we were going to make this exciting, so at least we'll be enthusiastic, even if, according to Rangers' performance on Sunday, they're not going to be. We'll give the game a bit of buzz and a bit of momentum. Let's do it.
How excited are you for the game tonight, Ash?
Well, in fairness, I just said to you, I was feeling a bit of FOMO that I wasn't at Ibrox tonight. I couldn't get through because of work. But depending on how the game goes, I may be quite thankful come back at 9 that I'm not, queuing to get out of the car park. So, yes, listen, today and Sunday is just to be endured because it's a means to an end of an exciting future. So that's the way that I'm going to look at it. That's a positive spin I have.
Let me ask you this. If the game tonight, if Rangers won it, meant that we won the league, would you have got away from work?
I think I felt a kind of cold coming on about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Because I'm up in the gods, there's no chance a TV camera would have caught me. So just as well this isn't live and my boss could potentially see this, eh?
Well, I don't know. Is your boss a Rangers fan?
Nah, he's a Kiwi. He likes rugby, so I'm probably quite safe, actually. You're right.
Oh, no, I quite like the rugby as well. Geordie's straight in there, Martin. How are you feeling about my client, apparently, Lennon Miller winning Young Player of the Season? Well, it was inevitable, I think, from the very, very start of the season, Ash, that this young man was going to win. And this is how exciting the game is, right? That we're already talking about Lennon Miller. It was inevitable he was going to win Young Player of the Season because he's the best young player in Scotland.
He is, and in fairness, I don't think the other candidates really had anywhere near the type of campaign that he did. I actually depressed Trevor quite significantly on Sunday when I said to him, you know what we paid for Bajrami? Probably could have paid that for Lennon Miller at the start of the season, and we probably would have got him, whereas now I reckon at 6-7+ million, he'll be going to a team, I think, down south or even in Italy, given some of the success that the other Scots have had. So he's another one that got away, but just need to grin and bear it. Hopefully we're not talking about too many young Scottish players missing out on in the future.
No, I'm genuinely surprised that Engels never won it, according to online. But I mean,
he is the best Belgian midfielder in Scotland, as evidenced by the recent Belgian squad, right? That's
yes.
How it works.
Well, apparently that's how it works.
National team selection doesn't really count. That's that. Ignore that. That's not really that important.
No, it's not as if they're a team in the top 10 or anything like that.
No.
But yeah, okay. Let's have a wee look at the team tonight, and let's see if we can make this a wee bit more exciting, shall we? The Rangers team tonight. In fact, you know what? I'm not even going to go through the team, Ash. I'm going to go questions through the team. Right.
Let's do it.
The biggest thing for me, Butland back in goals. Is that fair on Kelly?
I'm a wee bit surprised and confused, if I'm honest. I thought Kelly was pretty outstanding against Aberdeen on Sunday. A few big saves to keep the score at 0-0, and then we obviously get the goal, and from there, never really look back. So part of me is thinking, is this a goodbye tour? Sorry, I'm distracted by the usual ball. Boys, I'll keep going. Sorry, I'm not sure. Is it like a kind of goodwill gesture for Butland, given that he's been at the club a couple of years and he's going to go? But then I'm kind of thinking, who would make that decision? Because the new manager's not in place. We know it's not going to be Barry. Can't imagine Thelwell's had conversations with the likes of Butland to say, we're moving you on in the summer. The only thing I can think of is if it's goodbye, it's Butland said to the club, just so you know in the summer that, maybe his family want to move back down south. I don't know. Otherwise, to me, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, frankly.
No, and I don't think it's fair either. And I know you just said that, but if Butland came to the club and went, I'm leaving in the summer, why would you then play him? I don't. Am I being too impassionate? Am I not being fair because there's nothing to play for? It doesn't really matter. Obviously, we want to win. Of course, we want to win. But it does. But if we get beat tonight or we draw, it's not as if we're losing out on the league or anything. But I still think it's incredibly harsh on Liam Kelly.
No, I would agree, and you're right. Even if he had gone, it's no disrespect. The guy's not a legend at the club. He's not been here long enough. He's not won anything to give him that status. So the kind of sentimental side of it, I don't really get. But otherwise, it is a real head scratcher. I have no idea why you drop Kelly. He's done nothing wrong. And we've seen what Butland can do. I think Kelly should have kept the gloves to the end of the season, and then in the summer you have a conversation around who the goalkeeper's going to be next year. I actually thought Butland had a shout of maybe still being number one next year, depending on who came in, maybe giving him a clean slate. But I just wonder if the rumblings are that he's possibly heading south. Maybe that's something that's been in the offing for a while. But yeah, no, that was the one I did not expect to see that. I thought Butland was done for the season.
Yeah, so did I, I'll be brutally honest with you. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Kelly's back in for the final game against Hibs. But
which again is confusing.
if Butland plays a blinder the day, then I mean, it's just, do you know what? It's baffling. It's absolutely baffling. The back four, Tav, Suter, Balogun, and Jeffrey, isn't really much of a story. For me, what is though, Ash, is if I look to the bench, I don't see Insiala.
No, but I do see Robin Proper, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't. You know, I know it's kind of been covered, wax lyrical before, so I don't want to go in it, but I kind of get again from the beginning when Barry came in that he wanted to pick the team that he thought, would win games and give him a chance to get the job. Everybody knows, apart from Barry, apparently, that him and his management team are not going to get the job. So I still don't understand why at this stage you wouldn't just give a little bit of, even on the bench, a little bit of development time to some of these young guys. I mean, Robin Proper is absolutely going to be off in the summer, so unless NCL's got a knock or something we don't know about, it doesn't make any sense to me. I absolutely would have had him in the squad today.
Yeah, it's baffling. I don't know if is it just it's this Barry going, I'm not getting the job, I don't care anymore, I'm going to play who I want to play. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. But I tell you what, let's hear then, shall we? From Modi Amandi ahead of the game tonight.
Theo, it's the last home game of the Scottish Premiership season. How are you and the players feeling ahead of this one?
I mean, it has been a tough season, but we all want to finish good. So we want to finish on a good note at home. Yeah.
How have preparations been for this one off the back of the result at the weekend?
I mean, it has been calm because we won against Aberdeen and it was important for the fans. And yeah, we didn't have so many days to prepare for this one really, but we had some analysis how we want to play, so it's gonna be also the same focus. Yeah.
How important is it for the squad to obviously build on that result, and particularly the second half performance as well tonight?
Yeah, like we want to start every game very good, and we want to try to kill teams in the very first minute. And I know against Aberdeen we did that in the second half, but we showed that we could score more goals. And I hope today we are going to start from the front foot and get some goals in the first half.
Yeah, I know we always speak to you about playing alongside Nico in midfield, but how much do you feel your partnership on the pitch is growing this season with the both of you?
I feel like we are getting better every day, and we push each other. And it's not just me and Nico, but also the other midfielders. And I'm more close to Nico, but I'm happy to have him at my side, and we just push each other and to grow. Yeah.
Is it about now trying to end the season as strongly as possible for the squad?
Yes, it is. It is, and for a lot of us who are going to be here next season, we don't know what is going to happen, but we want to finish on a good note and to give some belief, to the fans. Yeah.
He said something very telling there at the end. Now I know, look, don't mistake how he sounded. He's buzzing and he's up for it, right? He's absolutely
it's just
buzzing.
His general demeanour, I think.
That's just
his demeanour, his personality.
Yeah. He said something very telling there at the end. Ash. He said, for those of us who are going to be here next year, which says to me that a lot of the players, that they're obviously fully aware that a lot of them won't be.
Yeah, and I think even before the takeover, there probably was that feeling amongst the squad, like given how much of a disaster this season has been, a lot of them probably realise that they don't have what it takes to play for Rangers and the spotlight that comes with it. So I think a lot of them probably themselves felt like a move might be happening. I think now that we are going to have a complete change of direction, we've got a whole new structure coming into the club. A lot of them know that this is probably the last time that they play at Ibrox. And what I think is a wee bit disappointing for me is a lot of them have known that for a few games, and yet you look at the first half against Aberdeen. I suppose in some ways the human level, like if you know you're not wanted at a club and you know you're wanted to be booted out your job, maybe it is difficult to give 100%. But I just think you're in a really privileged position to be playing in front of fans. Playing for Rangers is an honour. The least I would expect is for you to give it your all. And that first half on Sunday, there was a lot of them that were just dialing it in, as they have been for a lot of the season. So No, I think the next few games are really just to be endured for everyone, if I'm being quite honest, not to be too negative about it.
No, you're
But
right.
hopefully tonight they'll give the fans a little bit of something to cheer for and send us off to Easter Road at the weekend in decent spirits as much as we can be.
That's going to be a hard game at the weekend, by the way. Jimbo saying, to be fair, it's the end of the season in football. These guys are used to players moving on every summer. It's likely just a standard reply many would give. I don't usually hear footballers saying, for those of us who are going to be here next season. I don't normally hear it. I mean, does that say to you that Dio thinks he's going to be here next season, wants to be here next season, or am I just doing a Jim White and trying to create a story?
No, I think Dio what is one that I would expect to see here next season. I think he's had a decent season, but I don't think he's reached the heights that probably he expects him to be able to. I don't think he's had the standout season the likes of Raskin has, particularly from January onwards. Uh, Not being rude, I haven't really heard too many clubs in for Dio. I think it's just a reflection of the fact a lot of the squad are talking about the fact that the reality is they know big changes coming in the summer, and they're probably talking amongst themselves and their agents around potentially needing to find a new club. So I think it just highlights that these are conversations that are happening because the future is up in the air for a lot of them.
It very much is. It very much is. So that back four, Tav, Suter, Balogun, and Yefty. Yefty's the interesting one, I suppose. Obviously, there's no real cover for him on the bench, Ash, but he seems to be coming up in a lot of conversations, especially over the last kind of week and a half. He seems to be brought up quite a lot. He has been brought up on and off throughout the season. I still think, right, and maybe this is just me with my blind, I love Jeffy glasses on. I still think there's a lot more to come for this guy, and I think he could be a top fullback for us. I really do.
So I think he started off pretty well. I think he gave us a bit of an attacking threat down the left, in a sort of more consistent way than Ridvan. So I like you kind of started off quite positive.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that he had a really difficult part really after the first few months that he's sort of maybe just coming out of. I thought he played a little bit better against Aberdeen. I noticed that he was pushing further up the pitch. He's a young guy. He's not played in Scotland before. I suppose there is a bit of an expectation that he is going to have a bit of a drop off in form. But what worries me is that his concentration. He switches off a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Mm-hmm.
seems to get beat a lot, and concede the same type of goal and concede the same type of space. So, from my point of view, I think he's maybe not learning as much as I would like to have seen this season. But on the other hand, he's come into a bin fire of a squad and a bin fire of a season, and he's not really had that structure off the field. So I wouldn't judge him too harshly. But if you're asking me, would I want him to be our first choice left back next season? Right now, no, I think I'd have him as cover to bring in and play some games. I don't think he's the starting left back that we need, being quite honest.
I just want to move away from the game quickly, right? Because I spoke about this today on the afternoon rabble with Demi. Robbie Fraser.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, we've seen a bit of him in the first team. I followed the B team, not this season, the season before, quite closely. Yeah. He's a young player who I like a lot, and I've interviewed him. I know his mentality and stuff like that. Is he somebody that you can see? He's only got a year left on his deal, right? He's doing well for Livingston.
He is, yeah.
Is he somebody you could see maybe him and Jeffy kind of fighting out for that left back spot next season, or would that be too much of a risk?
I probably know would be my answer. I think if that's the choice between our
Don't
two
be
first
scared
left
to
backs.
offend me, Ash. Don't be scared to offend me.
No, that's me, diplomat Daisy. No, probably not. I mean, I agree with you. I think he's done well at Livy, but is that his level? Would be the question I would kind of throw at you. He's been in and around the squad under a few different managers and never really had that breakthrough to cement himself as the kind of secondary option. I think if we went into the season with those two as kind of either or as first choice as left back, probably I'd be a little bit concerned about it, to be honest. So no, he's maybe not had a fair crack at it. I'd be open to him in the summer having a chance to go in the pre-season training and to compete when the new manager comes in. But I'd need to be convinced if he was going to be kind of a key part of the first team squad next year.
This will be Ash's final appearance on the Rangers Rabble. I will not have Jeffy or Fraser besmirched in that way.
That's it, folks. I had a good run, had a couple of episodes. It's nice knowing you all. See you later.
Let's hear from Barry, shall we? Let's see if he gets asked any of the questions that we want answered.
Barry, it's the last home game of the Scottish Premiership season. How are you feeling going into this one?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Good result on Sunday against Aberdeen. Really happy with the second half performance. So I'll be expecting that for 90 minutes. That's what I've asked the boys, and that's what I'm going to be demanding off the boys. So, yep, looking forward to it. Last home game of the season. You want to go out with a bang and hopefully get the 3 points.
What kind of challenge are you expecting from Jim Goodwin's men tonight?
Yeah, they're still challenging for the European place. We know they're going to come and maybe sit back and frustrate us. So we need to understand that we need to move the ball a lot quicker than we did in the first half against Aberdeen. But if we play at the standard we did in the second half, then hopefully we can get through Dundee United.
Yeah, just how important is it to have that continuity from the second half, obviously, for the boys to reach those levels once again?
Yeah, it's important. As I said, it was an opportunity for guys who maybe weren't happy with starting on the bench, and that's what I want. I want them to be disappointed, but when they come on and they get the opportunity, I want them to grab it with both hands. And certainly the guys that come on done that. I could have made another 1 or 2 changes. I just felt the vast majority of them I was really happy with, certainly with the attitude and application and the quality as well in the second half.
Yeah. And a couple of changes to your team tonight, of course, Jack Butland and Hamza coming back in tonight.
Yeah, Jack comes back in. It was always my intentions to bring Jack back in at some stage. Look, Kells has been brilliant. I've got to be honest with you. Really happy with him. To be fair to him, he's been struggling with a back injury. It's been niggling away at him. But that's not the reason why Jack's come in. It just, as I said, it was always my intentions. But one thing about Jack is his attitude's been first class. I still rate him very highly, and it's good to see him back in between the sticks, and hopefully he'll go and show how good the goalkeeper is.
And with Hamza in the team, does that change the shape at all with regards to Vaclav Černý maybe coming into a more central role?
Yeah, well, Vaz's predominantly played in the right side, out in the touchline, but I like Vaz centrally. I think he brings a lot more centrally. I think he enjoys that position, so he's got an opportunity tonight to go and show what he's made of. I thought in the second half he made the difference when I made the switch, when Hamza come on, and I put Vaz obviously into the number 10 position, so he definitely contributed with his goal, and I thought his overall play certainly was a lot better in the first half.
Right, okay. So, a couple of things there, right? Firstly, what that says to me is that once again we're not going to see, and maybe I got that completely wrong, doesn't seem to me that we're going to be seeing Hamza through the middle.
No, I think if you're going to push Černý inside and you've got Dessers playing, unless we're going to play 3 in the middle, which we're not going to do, there's no space for Hamza to play in his best position. Now, you could argue that he actually played on the left and the right on Sunday. I noticed at one point he and Černý swapped places and Černý went out on the left. But you could argue, obviously, he scored that, peach of a goal, although he was central, he came in off the left, and he obviously, that kind of viral clip where he skins the Aberdeen player and sits them down for a hot dog out on the touchline, he does that on the left. But yeah, I don't get why we're not giving him a run in his position. He had a bit of a dip in form, but he showed on Sunday the technical quality that he's got, and we know that he's a player we're going to want to build around next season. The positive is he's playing. Look, he wasn't in the starting lineup for the last few games. He is starting, so that's a sign of progression, but I don't know how much you learn about him playing him in a position that I don't think he'll be playing in next year.
I mean, is it customary to sit down for a hot dog?
It's more enjoyable to eat it that way, I believe. If you think about it, would you eat a hot dog standing up? You don't go to the cinema, get a hot dog and stand in the aisle. You sit down.
No, but I mean, if you're out and about and you get a hot dog, I suppose you do look for a seat, don't you? I suppose. I suppose.
It's enjoyable.
It is, I suppose.
I feel like that. Sorry to interrupt. That could be a question of the day for a future afternoon wrap. I'm just saying.
I also think that could have been taken well out of context.
We're clipped up, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, God. But we did say the show would be exciting and fun, so we've done our best to make it.
Yeah, well, and who's eating hot dogs at the cinema? Most people, I think.
Jordy, we may need to take a bank loan out to do that, but come on now. A hot dog at the cinema is top tier, particularly if there's a good film on.
Yeah, by the way, we went to the cinema I don't know how long ago it was. It was to see Despicable Me 4, I think. And I don't go to the cinema, right? Because I mean, boo-hoo me. I suffer from anxiety, right? Run a podcast, suffer from anxiety. Who knew, right? But daughter's like, Dad, I want to go and watch this. And I'm like, all right, okay. Like 30 odd quid just for food.
And that's before you've even bought tickets.
Could not believe it. Absolutely raging. Couldn't believe it.
Well, I've got this false economy. I know we've gone off piece here, but I've got an
carry on.
Odeon card that you pay per month.
Oh, you're
And I
one of them.
probably make like one film a month and it costs me 20 quid. And every month I'm like, I'm going to cancel it. And then I look and there's loads of good films coming out. So I'm like, nah, I'm going to use it. And guess what? I use it once a month. So aye, then he talked to me about wasting money at the cinema.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, when I was younger, you used to go to Asda or wherever and buy sweeties and that and then sneak them in.
That's the business. That's the business.
I'm not telling people that that's what you should do. But I will say one thing. Rangers women are 5-1 up against Hearts.
Phenomenal.
And I believe Hibs are scudding Celtic as well.
Right.
So I think that brings it to a final day showdown between Rangers and Hibs. Whoever
Big game
wins
on
that.
Sunday. Ibrox,
Yes.
isn't it?
At
So
Ibrox,
hopefully as many beers get along as they can, because that could be quite a special end to the season for the women.
you know, I'm thinking, I've been to see Rangers women quite a few times at Ibrox, and I don't think I've seen them win that often.
Well, don't go on Sunday, please. No offence.
Well, I can't go. Car won't let me. If I go, Car will absolutely annihilate me. Just I mean, because of the conversation about hot dogs and cinemas, we're kind of running out of time here, right? But he mentioned there that he likes Czerny in the middle. Now, maybe again, I'm just being cold-hearted or whatever. 2 games to go. I want to see the likes of Bailey Rice in the team. I want to see Finlay Curtis. I want to see Hamza played in his right position. Do we care what Vaclav Czerny's best position is with 2 games to go if he's not going to be here next season?
No, frankly, we don't. And it's harsh on him because he's been such a, he's contributed so much this season. So yeah, to put him on the bench is probably a wee bit harsh and unfair. But you're right. I don't know why we're trying to get a tune out of Czerny when we know what he can do in these games are pretty pointless. In fairness, I do agree with him actually. Czerny through the middle is quite good. I get quite frustrated watching him at times when he just cuts inside. If you're a defender, you just wait inside for him to come because he's not going to go down the outside, and it's predictable. And when it doesn't work, it gets really, really annoying. So no, through the middle, he's excellent. But I'm with you. Like, I don't know why we're not playing Cortez, and I don't know why we're not playing some of these other guys. And I know Barry gave a bit of an indication as to why we're not seeing Cortez, which is a whole other concern around him not performing in training. But yeah, I think Czerny should have got a chance to say goodbye to the Ibrox crowd tonight because I expect it will be a goodbye. Yeah, I don't know why we're starting
Yeah,
him
but
to
you can bring him on with 15-20 minutes to go.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Give Finlay Curtis 60 minutes, give Bailey Rice 60-70 minutes. Now, see, even if Cortez isn't performing that well in training, right? Should there not be somebody? Now, I would never advocate for this, right? But we're going to pay 4 million for this boy, 4.5 million, whatever it is. Should there not be somebody at the club saying, Barry, for the love of God, please go and give him some minutes?
Yeah. And I think you've hit the nail on the head. There is precisely nobody at the club in that position to do that at the moment. I think that's where next year with the likes of Thelwell, etc., we're going to have a much better structure where, a bit like, I know we're talking about David Ancelotti being, whether he is or he's not, but we're talking about more of a head coach type model where the structure's in place and you bring in the best coach you can to get the best out of your players. And they're led by the sporting director in terms of what they want to see. We don't have anybody at the club like that just now, and it shows because these last few games have been a bit of a nonsense in terms of team selection. And that's someone who loves Barry. I just don't understand what we're trying to achieve in these meaningless games if it's not to get a bit of development time to some of the younger players that might be here next season.
I mean, Barry's actually come out and said that Bailey Rice can be Rangers number 6 moving forward, coming from one of Rangers' greatest ever number 6s.
Yeah.
He has come out and said that he's just not ready to play the amount of games, and what he also said was he should have played more before I got here. Yeah, there's 2 games to go in a season. We're playing at home, and he's on the bench.
Yeah, and I get Raskin's the fans' darling just now. He's really been the bright spot in what's been a difficult season, so he's obviously going to play. But the likes of Dio or Barron, I wouldn't have been too upset if they'd started on the bench tonight to give Rice some minutes because he's looked good whenever he's played. He's never let anyone down. He's looked pretty assured, and he's definitely one to develop for next season. So, yeah, I don't know why you sort of claim he's not had enough minutes and then, maybe don't give him as many as a lot of people think he should get. But with Barry, look, there is a bit of ego going on. He wants to leave with as decent a record as he can in terms of being Rangers manager. So there is a little bit of that, and maybe it's unfair for him to rip up the team sheet and throw in all the kids. But I know from a fan point of view, I think a lot of people would get more enjoyment out of seeing that and what the team could look like versus watching players that we know aren't going to be here next year.
Yeah. Just finally did mention why Butland came back in. It was always his intention to bring Butland back into the team. Again, with 2 games to go. What? Right? Firstly, what? Secondly, awfully convenient, Kelly's got a bad back.
Well, was it not? Did he not say that Butland's the one that's been struggling with a back injury, or have I picked that up wrong? I thought he said Butland.
I
Was it
thought you meant
Kelly?
Kelly. I thought you meant Kelly.
Right. Maybe somebody can keep us right there, but no, I don't know. Again, like, why would it be the intention to bring Butland in for a meaningless game at the last game of the season at Ibrox? I don't really understand that at all. So no, that's a bit of a head scratcher for me. And yes, Finlay Curtis again, needs a bit of a chance to show what he can do. I don't know why he's not been given the opportunity out on the left, play Igaman top and then put Cherny on the right. And then you could take, Finlay Curtis off later on and bring Cortez on. So yeah, I don't get it. It's quite confusing looking at his lineup, and I'm one that likes to defend him as much as I can.
And even if it is a chance to say goodbye again, you can be brought on. They done that with Alan McGregor, and then all right, they offered him another year's deal, but they done that with Alan McGregor, so it can be done. It absolutely can be done. Right, okay, Ash. Finally, easiest question of the night before I let you go. Prediction.
So Dundee United, I don't expect, sorry if this is going to jinx us, but I don't expect much from them tonight. I would think it's a relatively comfortable game. I think it'll be 3-0 to Rangers, to be honest.
All 3 goals obviously coming in the second half because it takes us about 45, 50 minutes to get started.
Oh, aye, we'll chill for a bit. We'll give the ball away. We'll get everybody in the stand raging. And then we'll think second half, right, come on, boys, let's play some football here. So yeah, no, it'll 3-0 all coming after 70 minutes. There's my prediction.
There we go. And I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. Right, folks, for members out there, in 7 minutes' time, so 1935, which ironically was the year that Wolf was born, but 25 to 8 will be the starting time for the watch along. That gives us 10 minutes to get built up before the game gets started. So if you are a channel member on YouTube or on Patreon, then you can tune in to the watch along. Thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And of course, Ash, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hopefully next season, when we do a build-up, we can be right up for it and excited.
I reckon we've given it a reasonable run tonight. Sorry, folks, if it's not been the most exciting, but we've done our best. I mean, the hot dog chat was off the charts. So
I think that was the best part of the show, to be honest. Are you on the
but I'll remember.
build-up?
Yes, I am on Saturday.
Good.
Yeah. So that's how we're going to make folk tune in or tune out, depending on their preference. So we'll find out.
Well, whatever you want to talk about, folks, get it in the comments, right?
Other
Listen,
cinema
everybody.
food. Let's do it. Let's do
Yeah,
it. Other
let's do
cinema
it.
food.
Let's do it. You should be available for more afternoon rambles and we can talk about anything.
Excellent.
Yeah, there we go. Right, folks, go and enjoy the game. Members, make sure you tune into the watch along. Ash, thank you very much. And everybody, we shall speak very, very soon.